like I was saying, Craig Broadwater just denied me all around the board of any rights under the sun, any federal, any constitutional rights, any Supreme Court rights, any rights under the sun. Broadwater also chose not to include the elements of my crime when he was reading the jury instructions to the jury as to each charge. He removed all elements of the crimes that they alleged that I did and directed the verdict to guilty. This is your American judicial system. It does not play fair. It's anything but fair. It's unjust. It's evil. It does not represent the people. It disregards the Constitution. It disregards anything and everything. It's not. It's a machine. It's destructive. It's there's no integrity whatsoever. There's none. Uh, moving on, moving along. So I've requested. Once I found out about these documents, I moved for fraud upon the court rule 60D3, and I think that's somewhere around 2016. And I moved for, after that got denied on all levels, the district court, appellate court, Supreme Court. I moved for subject matter jurisdiction on 2255, and basically they denied that too, and got around that. You know what I'm saying? They're evasive when it comes to jurisdiction, 10th Amendment violations. My thing is, let me see. So my only option was to file a Freedom of Information FOIA Privacy Act against the DOJ, the Executive Office for United States Attorneys, the FBI, the DEA, the ATF. I did this in March of 2021, and I'm asking them for basic charging documents of my federal criminal complaint, my federal arrest warrant, a copy of the grand jury minutes, which I have a full copy of the grand jury minutes that brought the indictment, and I know what law enforcement went to go get this indictment, which is Scott Dillon. This dude was also at trial deemed a case agent. That's right, folks. A state police was deemed a federal case agent, which would put him above a real FBI agent, a DEA agent, and an ATF agent. As it stands right now, the Justice Department, you know what I'm saying to you, and the DEA has no record of this dude ever being baptized by the DEA. However, so, you know, moving along, Scott Dillon, state police, you know what I'm saying to you, Scott Dillon testified at trial that he's a part of the Eastern Regional Drug and Violent Crime Task Force, which is a state task force in the Eastern Panhandle of Virginia. His supervisor, Scott Dillon's supervisor, state police, Sergeant Fred Wagner, testified to being a supervisor in part of that task force, and basically describes that they're in charge of the most eastern counties in West Virginia. So here it is, a state investigation, a bogus state investigation from the good old boys, and a federal prosecution. I mean, how do you do that without no federal law enforcement agents' involvement, accusation by way of federal criminal complaint or before a federal grand jury? But I'm sitting in prison for the last 24 years while the Justice Department knows this and refuses to be honest and come forward and release me. So I put the FOI in, and when I put the Freedom of Information in, to this date, I'm in court. I had to file in the court August 3rd of 2021, and to this date, which is right now, May 3rd of 2024, the Justice Department as in its whole entirety has not produced any basic charging documents to have me in prison for the last 24 years. This is your American federal judicial system. There is no federal judicial system. There is no federal nothing. It's an enslavement. It's a Ponzi scheme that's designed to make money off the American innocent United States citizens. This system must be stopped. It must be shut down and something else be in place. They need to remove these judges and these prosecutors completely up off their benches, whether they take place or not, because their allegiance is not to the people. They are not public servants. They are self-serving servants, and they're not serving the public. So with that said, the DEA, the FBI, and the executive office have all come back with final responses, and they do not have this paperwork, but they portray in court as if they've sent me some paperwork, and the paperwork they sent me is all state police. There's no federal paperwork from any of these agencies. This is a true story, and I'm seeking an interview from media, journalists, and basically anybody that's willing to step up in the name of justice, because you never heard a case like this before. You never will see it, and this needs to be exposed. I'm looking for this to go viral, at least over 10 million hits. Thank you.